Hey guys, welcome back to episode 3 of Painkiller already. We have our regular ensemble of cast, and our guest today is... Who the hell is it?
It's Junkyard.
Booyah!
In the house.
Booyah!
This is Woody's gamer tag?
And FPS Kyle.
I woke up there. So, Wiggs, you had a first topic, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
That he stole from me.
No, we're not talking about that with Kyle.
Okay.
The first topic is kill-death ratio. I recently put out a video where I talked about kill-death ratio and what it means to me and how I categorize people based off their kill-death ratio. And I got a lot of nerd rage. And I think somebody said that judging people's KDR online is like judging people's driving skills in real life. And it's a very, very good, metaphor. Because everybody thinks they can drive, be it the 16-year-old who has his permit, right up to the 40-year-old or the 80-year-old looking through the steering wheel with their big-ass glasses. None of them cannot drive. They're all Mario Andretti. And it kind of, most of the messages were like, no, I got 1.2 KD and, I own you. It's like, really?
So,
Because you're having a hard time with everybody else.
that was me who said the driving thing. I said that, everyone likes to think they're an above-average driver, and no one likes to hear otherwise. But I will say, KD is not the total measure of a Modern Warfare 2 player. Right? There are guys who sit there and sprint the flags across quarry to do what it takes to win. They know it's a suicide run, but if they can get that one frag grenade in the middle of that building, then that helps them win the game, and it ruins their KD. You get guys like Hutch, who Semtex themselves when the enemy has air support up so that he can take it down. Things like that ruin your KD. But
let me ask you this, though.
Go ahead.
Because people like KD is no barometer for skill level. All right? If that's the case, if you're using that and you're hiring somebody, would you rather have the Harvard graduate or the guy with the 1.8 GPA with a high school education?
Depending on the job. But I hear what you're saying, right? I mean, this is a metric you can use to measure people. The thing is, you're not counting into consideration the game tech, right? If there's a domination guy that sits on Bravo the whole time, he's going to have a lower KD than the guy who sits in the back of quarry on the rocks milking his own kill streak.
And see, I'm going to jump one ahead of you there.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say that if you're in a domination game and you have a good party, you should be spawn trapping. You shouldn't be sitting on Bravo.
That's what I was going to say. If here's from my experience, the people that I've played with the most, the guys that I've played with for literally dozens, if not hundreds of hours, they're all very good players. I don't know any bad players with good KDs, and I don't know any good players with bad KDs. The players I play with all have a 3 KD to a 5 KD, and when we play domination, it's usually an exercise in containing their spawn rather than capturing flag points. And when we play capture the flag, it's usually, all right, my buddy Wine and Blues is going to go capture that one flag, and that's all we need to win. So we're just going to spawn trap them over here and behind their flag the whole game. If you're playing alone, then it's a different story, but it's kind of hard to, if you're playing alone, it's hard to measure.
In a party like that, you're kind of right, that the score does get inflated, you get the spawn trap, etc. But take a game like Demolition. In Demolition, it's just naturally dangerous. The guy who plants the bombs all the time dies more because everyone knows where he is. Everyone just miracle nades it from across scrapyard. If you want to have a high KD, sit there behind one of those, piles of cinder blocks and snipe or ACR from it, and you'll have a high KD. Anyone can do it.
That's exactly where my KD went. I mean, I obviously, you guys know me. I never had a good KD to begin with. But literally, when I started playing the objective games, as far as Demolition, and I played that religiously back in December and January. That's the only game I played. I really didn't play anything else. And we played Capture the Flag, but literally never played Team Deathmatch, never played any of those dominations or anything like that. And obviously my KD sucks, and I'm okay with it. You guys know me. I just play the game to have fun, and that's what I do.
A game like Demolition, it is easy to get a good KD in Demolition if you don't play the objective, and it is hard if you do. I can go to terminal and stand in the back and just shoot people as they run around, and it's a piece of cake. Anybody can do that.
Hey, I'm still gonna go. I'm going with my gut instinct here. If you have good people around you, you're gonna spawn trap people on demolition.
Yep.
Seriously, it's even easier in demolition to spawn trap than it is domination.
Yeah, that's
And
why we played it.
and the fact is, if you're running and you're sprinting to try to get a nade on a flag, it's not because you have to do it. It's because the people around you are struggling to get kills. Same thing with team deathmatch. If you find yourself getting flanked, bet you money 80% of the time you press start or select, you're gonna see a guy that's 3 and 18 or 5 and 14, somewhere like that. The guy who's not winning his gunfights and he's breaking a parameter on your defense.
So you've made a pretty good argument for the better your team, the higher your KD should be. But I haven't heard that any kind of acknowledgement that playing the objective hurts your KD.
It does hurt your
definitely.
KD, but we're saying that if you're all great and grand and you're this Superman that you claim to be, that you should easily be able to spawn trap and take advantage of 2 or 3 people. A good strong player that has pretty good aim can easily make up for 2 people that doesn't.
Oh, absolutely. Look at the Call of Duty 4 videos that I've been recently posting, like on those team death matches. Those are mostly bad players I'm playing against, but I'm going up against 3 or 4 or 5 of them at a time, and it's just it wouldn't. If it were domination, I could do the same thing. I could take 3 or 4 people off the flag and cap it myself in that game. It's just if you're a good player, you can. You're not having to rush back and forth to the flags because when you get through the first time, you're taking out 2 or 3 guys, sitting there, killing 2 more as they come back to you, and you're just capping them.
I would argue if you're on a good team, you're not having to take out 2 and 3 players
And
get the flag.
exactly.
Woody, let me ask you this.
But that's different than if you're a good player.
I know where you're coming from because you're thinking of Rascal and some of the other guys you play with.
Don't rip on Rascal, man.
Yeah, Rascal's he's a team player, but he doesn't win his gunfights. He doesn't. That's why he has the care package kill streak.
Rascal's the sort of guy that will hop on B in sub base again and again and again until you get it. He's that guy that doesn't care about it. He'll finish 15 and 40 and maybe lead the lobby in points.
Yeah, but see, when the guys finish 15 and 4, I'm looking at it this way. I'm dealing with an AC 130 during that period of stretch.
I hear what you're coming from, and to some extent you're right. There's a balance between getting some air power in and getting the map control and capture.
I talk about them getting air power off.
I know. Yeah, I followed that. But on the other hand, someone's got to be willing to hop on B repeatedly in sub base. That doesn't come for free, unless your team's dominant.
Well, that's when it comes down to demolition or whatever. And I am always the one that says, hey, I'm the runner. You guys take out the shots because majority of the time they're going to hit their target a lot quicker than I will. And I've accepted that as far as my gameplay. And I do the same thing when we do play domination. I'll go ahead and try to grab B. But at the same time with B, for example, on sub base, good example, I usually, before I run out there by myself, I try to have another player with me at the same time, and I'll run out there and they'll cover me usually, and then again I'll shoot a nice silhouette around my target.
I don't claim to be a great player, but I'll tell you what I could do. I could start a new account, play a lot of free-for-all, and have a 3-0 KD or better.
Now, Woody, won't you do what I did? When I came on Xbox, I struggled, and I had like a 2.3 KD. I took that KD and knocked it up to about 3 now.
Uh-huh.
And it's not hard. It's not hard to do. It isn't. If you play smart and free for all, and you play smart in team deathmatch, you can easily do it.
Mercenary team deathmatch, especially.
Well, I find team deathmatch easier than mercenary team deathmatch because the better players stick in regular team deathmatch. Generally, people you meet in mercenary team deathmatch are people that feel they would do good if they didn't have a team.
That's not my experience. Me, if I want an ego boost, I go to free-for-all and mercenary. Well, I don't even play free-for-all much, but I go to mercenary team deathmatch. And that thing, it's like a health spa for KD.
Yeah, but I just want to go ahead and put this out here as well. We all know Junkyard isn't the best shot. And let me ask you this, Junkyard. Is the reason you choose to be the flag runner, the bomb planter, because you know that you're not going to, pick the guy off, the silhouette off on the edge of the screen with the FAMAS?
Yes, exactly. And I accept that, and I'm okay with that. And majority of the time, we'll usually have, especially on demolition, we'll have, or the capture the flag, we'll have 2 distinct runners and 4 defensive men, or if we're in the position where they can move them up as offense, they do. But and in fact, I don't even use lightweight because I do want to make sure I try to get that kill if I do run into a situation where I have to take somebody out. And that's why I put stopping power on. But at the same time, that's exactly why I always want to be the runner.
And I think a lot of people fall into that same category. They want to run the objective because they struggle with getting the kill, which is understandable. First-person shooter games are not easy. People claim they are easy and they're connection-based, which is true. They are connection-based. But generally, if you have a worse connection, you got to play 2 times better as the person you're facing to get the kill. And a lot of people struggle with this back to back to back to back to back. And I think the root of our problem here isn't that people want to have fun and play the objective. I think they can't pull the 3 KD game out like they want to, so they fall back on that as like a scapegoat. And I think the route I should take would be like a Woody's Gamer Tag route, maybe set up like a meet and play kind of thing with all the subscribers I have. Like get them to play with each other. What do you guys think about that?
Well, that's one thing, especially with obviously the followers that I have, my YouTube followers. We're definitely the average player because that's how I title myself. And I've gone into many groups and many rooms where when I used to go into rooms with a lot of my friends that are still on my friends list, that before YouTube and all that, and we would pretty much dominate. We do really good, and I would always be on the bottom of the list. But at the same time, I was the one communicating, calling out situations, calling out players. And now when I'm in groups with a lot of my YouTube followers, we're having a good time. We're laughing, we're talking, and all this. But at the same time, we're not getting that W. And I'm not going to say it doesn't frustrate me, and they know it frustrates me. It's like, dang it, guys, we got to go ahead and try to get this W here. But you do see the caliber of different players, from where I am nowadays with the average game player, from where I was back in the Call of Duty 4 days when I played very strategically, very tactically. It's definitely a different genre nowadays.
You guys want a new topic?
Yeah, I hate talking about Modern Warfare 2 anyway.
We're talking about KD in general here.
KD, yeah. I guess.
So Activision is going to be the publisher for Bungie. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh, they're a monopoly now, pretty much. I mean, when Blizzard and Activision merged, it was pretty much over for most game companies.
I don't know. EA's pretty strong too.
Yeah, but you ever seen Blizzard? Blizzard ruled the PC gaming community with an iron fist.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Bungie warm up with them. I heard that it's been going on for 9 months in secret, the negotiations. So a lot of guys, I hear people say, "Oh my gosh, they did that in reaction to Infinity Ward leaving Activision." It's like, right. Bungie quick set up a 10-year deal for exclusive publishing, and it's not exclusive, but publishing all the new content, and they did that because 3 days ago they had trouble with Infinity Ward. No, it's been going on for
now.
A
Was
while.
Bungie by themselves before, or were they with Microsoft?
They
were with Microsoft.
Yeah, and they're still with Microsoft. It's kind of they're speaking in code, but Microsoft says they're happy to continue to work with them on the Halo stuff. But it looks like Bungie's coming up with the new game under the Activision publisher. And I don't know, they've been kind of subtle about their hints on what the deal is. But another thing that's true, Bungie's excited about publishing to the PS3 and the PC. So it opens a few more doors for them by being under Activision compared to Microsoft.
Yeah.
I got a question about this. Let's talk about Sledgehammer Studios.
That action adventure Call of Duty game.
Yeah, kind of. Well, it's going to be the next Call of Duty, and it's from the people who made Dead Space and Return of the King and Tomb Raider. And
well, no, the next one will be Black Ops.
Yeah, the next one's Black Ops, but the next non-Treyarch one, because Treyarch's the A team now. They replaced Infinity Ward, and now they have another B team, which is Sledgehammer Studios. And I'm looking at their site right now, pretty much they just have developers that developed on a bunch of Electronic Arts games, and they made their own studio and become a subsidiary of Activision.
So I've heard about this. It'll be subscription based.
Yeah.
Right? Is it going to be
It's gonna be like World of Warcraft because it's taking the whole Blizzard aspect in, but it's gonna be like a Call of Duty type game.
So you're a first-person shooter?
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. You got to pay to play.
So it's the $15 monthly thing like they do on World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I would pay $15 a month for my Call of Duty. Now, I think I'm in the minority here. But
Yeah, I'd pay for it too.
if
Yeah,
that
me
meant we had dedicated servers and the whole frustration over making my way around a corner and still dying was solved, that would mean a lot to me. If that meant that I said, you know what, One Man Army NoobTube is ridiculous and game ruining, and they actually fixed it, then that stuff is worth $15 a month to me.
If they would keep the leaderboards legit and, you know, had people actually sniff out boosters, like if you see a guy with like 300 KD, you know he's not legit. You go in there, you put a claim in, and you have a moderator that comes into the game and, you know, ask questions on the account, how you did this, how you did that. I'd pay $15 easily. I'd go 20.
See, the leaderboard thing doesn't bother me. Like, I was like, I don't know, 200,000? And the fact that, you know, now I've got this wacky one, but this 200,000, the fact that I could have been like 190,000, who really cares? You know, there's no big deal to me.
See, I care because I was actually a leaderboard runner. I was in the top 100 on PS3 on kills, and then I just got blown out of the water by boosters and those. I'd like to see who would actually be the legitimate top of the game if they just played the game.
Yeah, that's like my buddy Socrates on Call of Duty 4. He's top. I think he's like top 150 in kills. He's got about 320,000 kills in Call of Duty 4. And I guess recently the modders and hackers and shit from Modern Warfare 2 have decided to hop back on COD 4 and ruin that for everybody. And now he's like top 800 or top 900. So that basically means that there are about 700 hackers on the kill leaderboard on COD 4.
I mean, you never wanted to know who actually is the guy who gets the most kills on the game, or who is the guy who actually has the best wins or scores the most wins. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
I wonder
Nice.
who's there.
It would be nice to know. I mean, and that's now on World at War. How was the leaderboard on that? Did they hack that one as well?
Well, PS3 that wasn't hacked last time I checked, but they had a lot of boosters on it. Like the score and the kills, they were boosted out of their mind, but the win-loss ratio was still pretty legit.
Because I know right when I first started playing that game, they had all the glitches and everybody was underneath the maps, but they fixed that pretty quickly. And but again, with me, I never followed any of the leaderboards or any of that stuff. The most aggravating thing was the servers.
I don't care about the leaderboards. Like, you know, and even the guys at the top of the leaderboards, those are just pub matches. You know, there's going to be guys on Envious or Optic Gaming or whoever that are way better than those leaderboard leaders.
You guys keep saying this. I mean, we've all played game battles at one point or another, and I've faced some of these teams like Envious, and they just have history on their back. They just have communication. You know, if you could get a team that could communicate as well as them, you could easily beat them because none of them are standout players.
I played game battles, and we had a few teams. We played Envious, and Envious they had their way with us. It was a domination game. I remember Estate in particular, and those guys just had it going on. Okori was the other one, and they set up and destroyed us. Now, we've also been on the other end of that, where we played teams that needed a lot more experience before they were ready to play with us, and they didn't see our best game. I don't know how much fuel Envious had left in the tank. They might have been running across the open in the state, just giggling to each other while they played with us. You can't tell.
Well, I played Cali Savages. We played Cali Savages. We played Camping with Coleman. Played a lot of the other top teams on the spring ladder, and we beat most of them. I mean, our win-loss ratio wasn't that great. It was like, I think we ended like 21-12 before we disbanded the team. But every game we played was against the top 500 team. We never got thrown a softball. And, you know, Evil Trauma will contest to it. And we held our own. And we lost most of our matches either on discrepancies or just lack of experience as a team.
Yes, I don't even do. I actually did do game battles back in the day when, back in GRAW when we used to play that, and as well as the first Gears of War. But that was a tough one because it was always had to deal with whoever had the connection. So it really didn't matter. But it got to the point where it got so stressful for me, and I just said, you know what, I'm not going to do it.
The thing about game
Yeah.
battles that's attractive to me is the restricted set of rules. Like,
And that's what I've heard lately, specifically with Modern Warfare 2, where, no tubes, the kill streaks. I don't know, can you even use kill streaks?
It depends.
it's a choice, but most people turn them off.
And which actually that has attracted me as far as an opportunity to be able to play a game with all the explosions coming at you left and right, and you actually play for bullets on bullets and actually do something. So, but at the same time, I probably won't do it.
You wouldn't do real well, Junkyard. It is very, very camp heavy, and you have to be a very good shot, and pretty much you're limited to like the UMP or the FAMAS.
Well, you played mostly S&D and TDM. Was that true all the way through?
Yeah, all the way through.
Yeah. See, if you go to, like, we played mostly MLG variant and demolition, and that obviously is not camp heavy. You can't camp and expect to win in the objective-based game.
Let's see, the games we played is first team who gets a kill usually wins.
And
Like we won a wasteland against God, what was that team's name? It was like actually I'll just go look them up. But
I got a group of friends that play game battles where we used to game all the time, but since they went on the game battles, and I don't know what their rankings are or anything like that, but they're loving it. I mean, and it gets to the point where every single night now I don't even ask him anymore, but for a while I was like, hey guys, you guys want to play? No, we got a game battles tonight, and now that's all they do.
Yeah,
And
they're probably attracted to the rules. Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 2, with its one-man army and noob tubes, or even scavenger and noob tubes and the thumper and the RPD and RPG, I mean to say, I don't want to fuss about the game too much, but it can take the fun out of it, especially on terminal.
well, it makes it definitely difficult for me as far as trying to get that infamous nuke that I'm still
I
tried.
I've played that game for so long. I don't think I'm ever going to play Modern Warfare 2 again. I don't think I ever
Are
will.
you playing Call of Duty 4? Is that what you've
Yeah.
been playing lately? See,
Yeah,
I got to
but-
put that back in. I love that game. I mean, and all I ever played on that was Search and Destroy. That's it. Hardcore Search and Destroy. That's all I ever played. I
So-
don't play Search and Destroy at all.
Everybody's
Yeah.
out on Call of Duty, which one of my topics I want to talk about was Halo versus Call of Duty. So, Kyle, you got a
Halo
lot
Reach,
of
I
time in
played that today.
Yeah, how do you like Halo Reach so far?
Well, I suck.
Me too.
But what frustrates me is knowing the fact that I know I'll be actually able to get pretty good at it, but what frustrates me is knowing that I'm going to have to sit down, retrain myself on the hand controls and the whole controls, and get back into the game, and knowing that I have to eliminate my enemy on the other side. I got to take his shield down and then have the last shot, either a melee or hopefully have another bullet in my gun or something to be able to take him out. And that's somewhat frustrating for me right now. I'm probably still going to keep playing and keep working on the Reach program. Since I have the beta, I might as well play it.
Yeah, I've been playing the beta since it came out, and so it took a little getting used to me. Like in Call of Duty, they do their best to make every weapon balanced. You know, in COD 4, I could make an argument for every single weapon in that game was the best for some given situation, right? Even the Scorpion was the best.
Where's the Uzi good at?
If you got him up close, the mini Uzi, I didn't mind that weapon. But
It gets outclassed so badly by the other ones.
are you in
There's
Modern
no
Warfare
use
2
for
or
it.
COD 4?
COD 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's true for COD 4 though. In Call of Duty 4, there's pretty much like 3 guns, 3 or 4 guns. It's basically M16 and AK-47. The AK-47 is just rarely used, and then it's basically MP5 with occasionally somebody will use the P90, and you're going to be running Juggernaut with that. And then if you're sniping, it's an M40 or a 50 cal. And if you're if you wanted to use a shotgun or a light machine gun, it would be the RPD definitely, and it would be the pump shotgun definitely. And I mean, every other gun in that game is pretty much worthless. The AK-74U has the same damage and rate of fire of the MP5. It just has a weirder recoil. The
And the
I mean,
AK-74U has assault rifle bullet penetration, which makes it good for maps like, what is the one with the statue in the middle and all the lattice work? Is it Showdown?
That's
Yeah.
block.
No.
no,
Block
that's
is
the
the
showdown,
great
the one he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
But I mean,
See, I
honestly,
used
that's an
the
M16.
M4 the whole time.
Oh, that team name was Never Ending Mayhem. They have 8 losses in the spring season, and we gave them one of them. And they're ranked currently 24 on the team ladder for Xbox 360.
Oh,
And we beat them with 8 kills combined.
I bet they hated you.
Yeah, but I mean,
here's what I was saying. In Call of Duty 4 and in Modern Warfare 2, they at least make some attempt to keep the weapons balanced. And you can make an argument for a lot of them on different maps and different situations. In Halo, balanced weapons are never really part of the contract. In Halo, there's power weapons they leave around. And the object is to get them and control the parts of the map that they spawn. And if you see some guy with a hammer, you team up on him from a distance and then take it from him and then try to get close quarters. And it just took me a little while to get my head around the fact that you start off in that game one step above unarmed in Halo Reach. And then your objective is to get something better.
See, I disagree. I think every single weapon in Halo 3 has a situation in which it will win against any other weapon. Now, the rocket launcher is sort of an exception because obviously the rocket launcher is your power weapon. It's in the center of every map. It's what everybody's supposed to be fighting over.
Now, look here. That weapon,
rifle, hammer.
That weapon you fucking get, you start with, the melee is better than that bitch.
Yeah, I think the assault rifle you start with is almost game-breakingly bad.
That thing is nice. You've got to, after a while, you get it.
Define nice. Nice like a dog attack.
I think it's you shoot them 13 times and hit them once and they're dead.
I switched to my pistol immediately. I have better luck with my pistol than I do with that assault rifle.
I do too. I mean, I clock them with the pistol about 4 times and hit them, and I'm done.
Aside from you, Kyle,
I'll give you
every player I know switches to their pistol immediately. And I play with some pretty good friends in Halo, and last night I was playing with Astro from Envious and Hutch, and they both did the same thing. They immediately switched over to their pistol because they think that assault rifle's trash. So I'm not alone.
I'll give you an example, and just using Halo 3. The battle rifle, all right, it takes 4 shots to kill, 3 to the body and 1 to the head or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The Covenant carbine is its counterpart, and it has a faster rate of fire, but it only takes 6 to the body and 1 to the head. So they're basically perfectly balanced against one another. It just depends on your style of play. Are you that player that can hit 7 consecutive shots? If you are, you can get the kill faster than the guy with the battle rifle. And I mean, guns like the shotgun is obviously only effective at very, very close range. The sniper rifle is almost, unless you're extremely skilled, I mean, it's almost impossible to operate that thing at close ranges. And, but I mean, guns like the Needler and all that, they all have those little roles, those little niches that they fill.
The assault rifle that you start with, where is that the best weapon in the game? When you're not looking? When your opponent's away from the keyboard?
At close range, that I would rather have that than a BR. Or what is it called? The
DMR.
EBR? DMR. I would rather have that than a DMR at close range because he has to hit his shots consecutively. You can out-strafe him, and you can strafe left and right, make him miss 1 shot, and he's dead.
Now, what about the plasma, the pistol plasma?
Oh, that thing's awesome. That thing's great.
Yeah, we played some Juggernaut today, which I can't stand that stupid game. But I was trying to play that, and I couldn't kill the guy at all because he's on fire, and I guess he's got a huge shield on him. But as soon as I grabbed that plasma, that fortunately took him down, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you want to have a good time in that game. This goes back to Halo 2, and they may have to patch this. All right, in Halo 2, there was something called the noob combo. What it meant was that you started with your battle rifle. You got a battle rifle, and your secondary was a plasma pistol, and you basically walked around with the plasma pistol charged. Back in Halo 2, it didn't the battery didn't diminish in it. You could just keep it charged 24/7. As soon as you saw somebody, you hit them with that plasma pistol, switched over to your BR, hit them once in the head, then started again. It was lethal. It was what if you watch pro gamers play, they used it all the time. And you can do the same thing in Halo Reach, and it works really, really well in those juggernauts. You hit a juggernaut with that plasma pistol, and he's just like everybody else.
Good. That's good to know.
Yeah,
I'm actually writing that down.
The assault rifle, you're right. That's where it excels. Not necessarily in the same room, because you're better off meleeing if you're in the same room, I think. But if you're in the same, if you're like close to medium distance, the assault rifle's not a bad weapon. But the way the maps play out, like if you're on, what are they, Sword Base and Powerhouse, it just seems like
Yes.
too many of my engagements that assault rifle is junk.
Now, what strategy can you think of? Because I mean, I've been playing for the week now, off and on. Sometimes I just get frustrated and I put another game in. But it seems like endlessly I keep getting shot in the damn ass, and I die because my shield goes down. And I try to turn around quick enough to jump out of the way.
You don't turn around, you run away.
So how do you get away from that?
You run. If you get the first person if you get shot in the ass and let's say they put 2 bullets in you, you're at a huge disadvantage if you turn around and begin an engagement with them because they've got a full shield and you've got half a shield. You're better off running around the corner, turning around and like throwing a grenade on the ground and hoping they'll walk over it. The grenade takes their shields down to 0 and you shoot them once in the head. That game's all about well-timed grenades, clutch melees, and a really good and accurate long-range shot with the high-powered rifles.
So Kyle has more Halo experience than me, but there's one thing I think he left out, which is working in pairs. It goes both ways.
Oh, yeah.
If you walk into 2 guys, just leave. Your shields and health are high enough in Halo that you can usually survive a retreat. Whereas in Modern Warfare 2, if you see someone, one of you's dead. Right? That's going to happen. In Halo, you can actually make an escape because your health is so high. And on the other hand, like one thing that was working well for me last night was I'd have armor and I'd walk around with somebody else. So I'd start weakening them, and then if I thought I was going to lose the gunfight, I'd armor lock and let my partner finish him up. And we just went everywhere in pairs, and that's how we won fights.
Yeah.
When you say armor lock, you're talking about the guard?
Yeah. In Halo 3, it was team shooting was a big thing. Team shooting became a big thing in Halo 3 because they took the button combinations out that were there in Halo 2, which I think was a mistake. It's kind of like the way they made Modern Warfare 2 sort of noob friendly. They kind of did the same thing for Halo 3 in the way they took the button combinations out. If you don't know what I mean, you could press the buttons in well-timed combinations in a way that would allow you to fire the battle rifle almost fully automatic. And that sounds like a glitch that people take advantage of, but it's basically what every pro gamer did, and it took a lot of skill to use. It almost like took some Virtua Fighter technique and put it into a first-person shooter. If you go back and watch like straight rip and play Halo 2, those guys are doing something called a quad shot. They're shooting their battle rifle. They're taking somebody out in like a quarter of a second with a battle rifle. And it looks like they're just cheating and, they're doing something really cheap, but it takes so much skill to, if you were to go pick up Halo 2 right now and just attempt to pull off a quad shot in a private match by yourself, it might take you an hour.
All right,
It's
Kyle,
ridiculous.
so you have the most Halo experience. Come November, what are you looking forward to?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, man.
Activision,
Halo,
not Activision, Infinity Ward hasn't ruined their name for you?
we're gonna see. We're gonna see if the problems in Modern Warfare 2 were more Activision's doing or more Infinity Ward's doing. If it was all, we don't know. For all we know, that the guys in Infinity Ward were sitting like, no, we don't want to do it. Everybody will hate it. It'll ruin the game. And Activision's like, yeah, it'll sell more copies. Do it, or you don't have a contract. We don't know what was pushed down their throat, or we don't know if Infinity Ward was sitting around and Robert Bowling was sitting there with like a monocle at the end of some long table petting a hairless cat saying,
Buy the stimulus package.
One-man army noob tubes will be great, guys. Trust me. We don't know. We don't know what kind of evil genius went into making that game called Modern Warfare 2, but I'm thinking that it was a little bit of both, and we're going to find out when we see Black Ops.
I'm looking forward to seeing definitely a better trailer than that just came out. That trailer really didn't show us anything, really.
Actually, if you go to that guy who camps channel, he got 2 guys who like break down trailers to break it down, and they break it down frame for frame. And there's actually a lot in that trailer. They found that there's a main character who's like in like 4 or 5 different scenes and different scenery. They found like different timelines, different maps, different wars. They pointed out like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6 different weapons. The AUG is in there. What was it? There was some kind of Colt assault rifle with a grenade launcher. I guess grenade launchers are bad because I saw one in the trailer.
And what's the actual time frame of this conflict?
From what I understand, it's going to be kind of traveling through time. The way the trailer hit me, it struck me a lot like what's that game? Assassin's Creed. It almost reminded me of Assassin's Creed, how he kind of goes back in time and remembers things that happened in the past. It's supposed to be like from sort of the end of World War II, from like the end of World War II to up to like the 80s. Yeah. Like so it would be like, you know, the Korean War, the Bay of Pigs, Vietnam, all kind of little special op conflicts.
Russia's Afghanistan war, perhaps.
Maybe that would be great. All kind of stuff.
So the Vietnam War, that's going to be a trip because again, that's, you know, obviously I'm older than you guys. I don't know how old Woody is, but I'm older than a couple of you guys, and I actually lived during that time, so I remember the Vietnam War and watching it every day on the news. And
you might have me. I lived during Vietnam War, but it ended when I was 2.
Nice.
See, it ended when I was 10, 11. So I mean, I'm not that old, but
yeah, I love my favorite channel is the History Channel. So like, I actually, as much as I enjoy the sort of modern warfare-esque type deal, you know, guns like the ACR and the SCAR and all that good stuff, it's kind of fun to see some history in the gameplay as well. To be like, oh, that's an MP40. I remember seeing that Nazi going into that house that time. One of those. I don't know. I like the old weapons too. So this is gonna be interesting.
You know what I want to talk about next? Oh, Wings, did you want to go?
I have no clue what we're talking about. I'm just saying I love the old weapons.
Yeah.
I prefer to have a Mosin gun or a Springfield over like a fucking Barrett any day. If they were both in the game and I had to pick one, I would pick the older weapon every time.
Yeah, you were saying the other day you would use if there was an M1 Garand in Modern Warfare 2, you'd use it.
Yeah.
What was I playing the other day that somebody? Oh, I was playing Battlefield Bad Company, and somebody pulled out a Garand on me, and it was just like, how the heck did he get that? I want one of those. So
I got my Garand on PS3. I used the shit out of it too.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I like that weapon, and unfortunately, I haven't opened it up yet. But.
New topic: Human Centipede.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me just start off by saying I was sitting in my house the other night. Everything was going fine. I was, you know, probably doing something on YouTube or Sony Vegas or playing a video game, and Wings sends me this link. And Wings, why don't you go ahead and just tell everybody about the Human Centipede?
The synopsis?
Sure.
Well, the movie is basically about a German surgeon, and he specialized in separating Siamese twins. That's all he did.
And there's a girl who gets lost in the woods.
And, well, he apparently hates humanity as a whole, and he hates tourists. Well, there's 2 girls that their car break down right near his house, and they're tourists. And he's already basically kidnapped a 3rd tourist. And basically he's in love with centipedes, and he wants to make a human centipede. And by this he means connecting the gastric tubes via ass to mouth to 3 people. And what he would do is he'd take the ligaments out so they couldn't use their legs.
Their kneecaps. Right?
Their kneecaps.
So their legs would bend in a different way or something like that?
Yeah.
No, so they had to stay on all 4s.
Okay.
And he would remove their teeth. And that's as far as they go into that. And he was so...
Oh, no, I saw more. He makes 2 flaps from the ass, like the ass cheeks. Okay? He cuts like a V in the ass cheek on each side, and he sews that to your, like, beginning at your ear and going down your cheek. So you're basically sewn to the other person's ass, and your lips are sewn to the other person's asshole, and you are in a line of people, and it's 3 people. The Japanese gentleman lucked out and got to be the head. Okay,
such a lucky guy.
He did luck out. He's the best actor.
There's one scene where this German psycho is explaining to these 3 people what he's going to do, and they're sitting there sobbing, and they're all like, "You're so crazy. You're never going to get away with this." If I'm there, I'm going to go, Who gets to be the head? I call dibs. Okay? Because as horrible as that other stuff goes, I can recover from being the head. Okay? You can patch that up. I'll have a scar on my ass. No big deal. We'll put my knees back. If you put me in the back, if you put me in the middle, or you put me in the back, even worse, I'm never getting over that.
Middle's the worst.
I will never emotionally recover from
No.
that.
The back end will be the worst because you don't get to shit in nobody's mouth.
Wait a minute, that's a privilege? No, the back is the second best. Because then at least your bum's not ruined. If you're in the middle, it's like being in a car pileup. The front of your car is ruined, the back of your car is ruined. That thing's total. I will say the quality of the food is mildly better in the middle than the back, but really at that point. No.
Now, is this a movie that's coming out?
Yeah, it's in New York and Los Angeles right now. Apparently, it's a hit, so it'll be everywhere. Coming soon to a theater near you, boys and girls.
Oh my
The
God!
horrible nightmare, which is the Human
Yeah,
Centipede.
just imagine. Does he take their tongue out? They don't go across that.
No, they keep the tongue.
So they got to taste that shit as it's going down their throat. They can't chew it, so they have to swallow it. So it's going to take them a while to get it. You got to basically use your throat muscles and kind of break it down and send it through your system.
Who the hell even thought this story up?
The guy who came up with the idea, he said he thought of it one night when they were watching a news story about a child molester, and they were saying that should be his punishment. He should be sewn to the back end of a trucker or something.
Nice.
And he got that idea.
What happens if the guy's got a fart?
Well, I guess you better be blowing it out your nose, Wings.
Because it's going to be shooting out the guy in the very back by the time it gets through.
I mean,
From what I understand, there's one scene where they try to escape, and they are sewn together at this point.
Oh,
And their only escape route is a spiral staircase.
I'd be falling down that bitch. I wouldn't give a fuck.
At some point, I got to get a hold of a knife and start cutting Billy Bob's stitches off my face, all right? I'm getting out of this. You're not leaving me sewn to Yamamoto and fucking the bitch behind me. It's not going to happen. I'm getting out of this.
I mean, just imagine. The other person's going to throw up eventually from eating shit, and that's going to have to stay there in their mouth. And let's say
No, they have to
slowly.
swallow it down.
oh.
They're going to have to swallow it down. It's basically one of the most horrid, terrible things you could ever imagine. And because this movie has been made, there will probably be some serial killer who actually does it out there somewhere. So thank you very much, Senior Douchebag, who came up with this movie
And
idea.
what about human tolerances? Eventually, you would get used to tasting shit. I mean, seriously, your body would naturally adapt to it because you can live off somebody else's shit. You just can't live off your own. That makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
and I think
make
we should
sense.
change the subject.
No, because I was reading on message boards, and there was like doctors saying that if you eat your own shit like 2 or 3 times, it becomes toxic to your body. But if you're continually eating somebody else's shit, that the toxins don't affect with you because there's like new enzymes and new bacteria.
I don't know.
I know
All
it's just human waste, but you can live off of it.
The movie poster says 100% medically accurate. I'm looking at it now.
This is just.
Do we need to do
It's horrible.
I'm lost for words. I didn't know this conversation was going to.
Oh yeah, this has been planned. No, I was going to bring this up anyway. I was thinking earlier today, like things we could talk about, and I was like, Human Centipede has to be brought to light.
I don't know if you guys seen the movie Silo. Silo's another movie about eating shit.
Oh,
But,
How many could there be?
it's in the Bible.
but
Why do we have to go to the Bible now?
That was the first story about eating poo.
yeah, but Silo, they basically was like a boarding school that was corrupt, and to punish kids, they would feed them shit, and they would like tie their hands to the table. And this kind of explains the kind of movies I watch. And when you send me messages like, "Hey, Wings, have you seen Aliens 3?" Yes, I've seen Aliens 3. I've seen every mainstream movie known to man.
Talking about watching this stuff. So, Kyle, how many seasons of 24 have you watched now?
4,
4 of them. And X-Files?
5.
Yet you
Well,
still
I've seen
keep
them all.
dodging me in Civilization Revolution?
All right, look, bitch.
You will do anything but play me. I have challenged you, and you're always too busy You told me you love X-Files because you're perfect at it. You've never died.
You know what I'm going to do now? I'm gonna make a video of me sitting on my account inviting you to Civilization Revolution for 10 minutes.
I got a question. Kyle, how are you flawless with X-Files? I mean, I took a death when Robert Patrick took over for Fox Mulder.
Oh, no shit, right? Robert Patrick's a douche. That guy sucks.
Sounds like
You can't. If you're gonna bring the bad Terminator in, he better be a villain. Don't make him an FBI agent. That's when the series took a serious turn for the worse. I don't even watch those episodes with him and. Ugh.
I mean, David Duchovny was a million times better than Robert Patrick.
Yeah,
Robert Patrick has the Terminator thing, but
Mulder and Scully's little like relationship together, this like platonic like sexual tension that they always had, it made the show awesome. Right. It was great.
I'd like to point out to the podcast audience how quickly Kyle changed the topic away from dodging me in Civilization Revolution.
No, everybody knows you're dodging me. That I've been trying.
That is so not true.
I was going to look forward to the 10-minute video of him inviting you. That's what I'm going to
do. Exactly.
and then he's going to join.
It's not going to happen. And then I'm going to freaking eat his lunch. I'm going to steal his milk money in Civilization Revolution. It's going down.
That game will not last half an hour.
It's going to happen.
Kyle's going to desert Russia.
I will. It will. I'm going to go Aztecs. I'm going to switch everything to science. Get my horseman technology. I'll be I'll take out a couple barbarian villages, switch everything to workforce, pump out a couple of horsemen.
You're telling them now like you're insulting.
Dude, I know the counter to that.
I mean, all you gotta do is make the counter.
Yep.
But then you gotta play the head game. Like, is he telling me this so I would make the counter so he already has the counter made for my counter?
There is no counter for that.
Please go science early. I'm going to take over your cities. Won't last 10 minutes.
I mean, seriously, everything has a counter in real-time strategy. That's the way the game is based off. I was a professional StarCraft player.
Yeah, but this is a game-breaking feature. This has been complained about on every forum for that game. You can't beat it. It's unbeatable. You don't beat it.
I mean, there's no such thing as an unbeatable tactic. Even if it's overpowered, it's micromanagement that's got to be.
All right, let me give you an idea of how overpowered it is. It's going to take him 3 turns to put out one warrior. I start with a warrior, so I begin the game 3 turns ahead of him, no matter what. And I've got horsemen.
What advantage does he get? I mean, you start with a warrior. That means he starts with more workers.
Nope. It depends which race he's going to pick. They all have little advantages, but the 25 gold that you start with the Aztecs is a massive advantage. It puts you immediately 3 steps ahead of the other guy.
There are ideas, though. I could employ that tactic, or I could go Japanese, where you immediately start off with the ship, get a little one-tile.
That's not the Japanese. That's the Spanish, and you still have to build that ship using 2 work per turn, and it takes like 30 work. That's 15 turns.
The Japanese have the advantage of immediately being able to deal with.
They get food. They get food from
they can farm the
from
water.
the ocean.
Yeah, you get a one-tile city, and that thing will be a juggernaut for a long time before you find your way out there.
I'll take you out in 15 turns, my friend. It's going to be over. You don't understand. I am a Civilization Revolution gangster.
You are a Civilization Revolution windbag, and you won't play me.
I'm going to go with Kyle here. He seems like he's a prohibition gangster, too.
I just want to watch the video, so I think you guys should put a date down.
I think you should stream it live.
We can do anytime, anywhere. I'll do it right now. We can start it right now while we're still recording. I don't care. I got my book in my hand.
But I don't think the computer's going to be able to handle from the conversation earlier.
But they're fucking up. They're playing real-time strategy on Xbox, which is wrong in the first place.
Kyle. Trying to think of something else that dodges a lot. That's you.
Oh my god! You know, I've honestly never seen an X-Files with Robert Patrick though. I've watched Silo. I'm going to watch the Human Centipede. I mean, but I can't ever make it through like the intro of a Robert Patrick X-Files. I might have to sit down and watch some of them.
The intro sucks. So they completely changed the way the show comes on. It just ruined it, man. It's bad. Because it's basically like starting the whole show over because he doesn't believe shit. You got to like convince him of everything. Whereas Mulder and Scully had built up this thing where like Scully was like, yeah, there's some freaky shit going on here.
So basically, he took Scully's role over.
Yeah, basically Scully takes Mulder's role, and then they bring in Robert Patrick, and
when does Scully actually get to the point where she's like, oh, well, I believe now?
Well, I mean, like if you watch the show, like some of the stuff she's seen is just outrageous. Like I mean, she has seen aliens. She knows they're aliens.
Is he getting robotic to you guys?
Yeah, he's getting real robotic. I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of his dodge tactic to say his power without
Oh
something.
my.
Uh-huh.
We're playing Civilizations of Revolution right now. And then his internet goes out 30 seconds later.
He's pulling a Sark on you.
I know. Guy
Wow.
dodges more than Rush Limbaugh during Vietnam.
Whoa, more like
Oh, Kyle, he's
like
calling you a border runner.
I know. Dude, who are
more
you,
like-
Cheney?
more like Bill Clinton.
Okay.
See, what I'm
Go
getting
there.
caught up back up on right now is because I never finished watching the seasons. Is I'm watching Dexter right now. Is what I'm getting.
Yeah,
Caught
I'm waiting for the third season to come on.
Yeah, me
Netflix.
too. I've seen the first two.
Hey, we have
Yeah,
10 minutes
I
left.
was too.
You know what I want to talk about? High school grades. Kyle, how did you do in high school?
My grades were pretty bad because I didn't really give a shit, but I scored a 1425 on my SATs, and I've got an IQ of 155.
I had a 3.8 GPA.
You had a 3.8 GPA?
Yep.
Damn.
I don't remember. I graduated in '83. I don't remember.
I had horrible GPA in high school. I had a 1.98. I had the lowest GPA of anyone I ever met that actually graduated high school.
Yeah, I had the third lowest.
In high school, my senior year, I started wanting to go to college, so I started paying attention to my class rank, and it was going up. But one of the reasons it was going up is people were dropping out of high school. Like high school dropouts would leave, and I'd be like, "Woohoo! My GPA is one better."
I'm surprised they didn't turn you into like a serial killer.
I was a straight nerd in high school. 'Cause I didn't have friends or nothing like that, so I basically did my schoolwork so I wouldn't get hassled.
And then my senior year, I started swimming, and you had to have good grades to swim, and that's what got me into college too. I could swim, and the coach made an exception for me.
Well, you got to understand, I'm from Georgia. We ain't got no swim team unless we're getting in the pond.
Yeah.
I wish our school had a swimming pool.
We had a surfing team.
What? Come on. What kind of school did you go to that didn't have a swimming pool?
I'm from
I
Franklin.
went to Conway High School, and you can't get much more backwater than that. And we had a swimming pool.
Dude, we had a hog barn. Does that count for anything?
Your
did
high
y'all have,
school had a hog barn?
Did you have
Hell
no
yeah.
extracurricular money funds in your school at all?
Oh no, we did. We spent it all in agriculture. We had a huge place where people could bring their calves that they had grown and show those off in the cattle show. We had a hog barn. We had the most equipped metals facility in all of Georgia. We had I don't know, a couple $100,000 worth of welders and metal lathes and our wood shop and all that stuff. And we had our technology bay where they actually built an electric car. But
Kyle, please stop. Your school is the reason why people think Southerners are stupid.
oh my God, no!
I know. Did you go to Redneck High? We didn't have a pool. We didn't have educational facilities, but every one of us can weld and raise calves.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
We know how to hoist the engine in the tree using winches.
Yeah, we had that. Yep, we had automotive. We had something called metals, which was welding and metalworking, and we had wood shop, and then we had technology.
Can
I
you
mean,
hear
you're acting like welding and wood shop is everybody has that.
No, you have no idea. I'm talking about we had our welding facilities were we had a plasma cutter and a 20-ton press and
So which
I don't
welding
know,
processes
15
did you
weld
learn?
bays. Oh, I don't know how to weld.
So
I actually used to be a really
6 semesters, didn't know how to weld.
I'm not going to claim I'm not a licensed welder, but I learned how to weld via my old job,
Yeah, I could
and
weld
I'm not
too.
good at it.
But it sounds like Junkyard has something to say.
Yeah,
Junkyard.
I used to be. I was in metal class, and I was actually one of the best welders in the class, and I used to teach everybody how to weld. Now, as far as trying to do it now, I probably couldn't make a bead if you asked me.
Which process?
But it was
TIG,
gas.
stick?
No, we just did everything gas welding, the old oxygen and gas. That's all we ever used.
Oh, okay. That's the one I've never done.
All I could do is acetylene. That's all I could do.
Okay.
You take the stick, you light
Oh, brazing.
I guess that's what they call. Basically,
Yeah.
take acetylene gas and oxygen, mix it together with a welding stick. You light the stick, and you kind of like just hold it just close to it until it melds it together.
Yeah, you know what happens when you mix acetylene gas and a balloon and a lighter?
What is that?
Third-degree burns. Yeah, you got to see. I'll never forget. I took a balloon, filled it up with acetylene gas, and it started leaking immediately. And I was like, oh, I got to light this quick. So I lit it with a lighter, and it exploded. And apparently, at the time, I guess I was like 17 or so, and the explosion was massive. It was like 3 times as big as the balloon itself. So it burnt the back of my right hand, and I went to the emergency room the next day because it didn't seem that bad the first day. It was just black. It was just black, and it was blistered a little bit. But I thought it was going to be okay. But the next day, it was obvious I needed to go to the emergency room, and I went in, and I'll never forget this doctor. He was a black guy. He says, well, young man, let me see what you got there. I show him. He's like, oh. Oh dear.
You got a heroin Bob reaction, huh?
Oh dear. We're not equipped for that. He starts talking about like they're gonna have to do skin grafts for my ass. He's talking about all this shit. I'm like, whoa. Hang on a second now. I may need a second opinion. He's like, oh, you definitely need a second opinion. I'm gonna send you to the Augusta Burn Center in Augusta.
Damn. So tell me more.
Oh, I got to Augusta, and like they put me in a room with a guy who had been trying to start his carburetor engine and by pouring gasoline in it, and it had just burnt the fuck out of him. He was in there like moaning in pain, which is lovely to be in a room with this guy because like his face is burnt off. So I'm sitting over there next to him, and I don't know. They gave me a shot of something. I'm gonna assume it was morphine. But she goes, and I felt it right away. It was some good stuff. And she's like, "You feel anything?" I'm like, "Nope." She's like,
"You liar! You lying drug! Never trust an addict."
So she gets more, and she gets about double what she put in the first time. And she gives me that. She's like, "You feel anything?" And I'm really feeling it now. I'm like, "No, not really." And she goes, and like she feels it way up this time. She hits me with that, and she goes, "You feel anything?" I go, whoa. She's like, there we go. Dude, I can understand how people become heroin addicts or whatever. That stuff put me out. I have my memory of the next hour comes in flashes now because it's like I've been abducted by aliens. Because I remember them. She had this. The reason I wanted a bunch of it was because she had her kit of tools out, and it was like scalpels and forceps and a scrub pad and all this shit, and I was like, I don't want to be awake for this. So basically, they scrubbed all the skin off the back of my right hand, and they put this glove on my hand. It's basically like artificial skin, and I literally have zero scarring. You can't tell which hand got burned. It's actually amazing.
I got a question. You started talking like in a waiting room next to this guy with his face half burned off. Was it really that fucking crowded in a burn center?
No, it was like we were in the same room. We were sharing a hospital room.
Oh.
Yeah. How's the control with the hand now?
Like for the first for about a month afterwards, like the skin was tight so much so that I couldn't like make a fist without it being uncomfortable. But like now it's fine. Like I literally, if I show somebody, they can't tell which hand got burned, and neither can I.
You did do the physical therapy and all that crap afterwards and all that, right?
No, I actually took the glove off about 3 days early and peeled the scabs off because I'm weird like that.
Jesus.
I just find
I don't condone that.
You got to burn so bad that you made a doctor stutter, and you didn't go to the emergency room right away.
I'm a pretty tough guy. What can I say? I spent the night with my hand in a bucket of ice water, and it was fine. But I had these massive blisters on, like. It was like the knuckles.
I'm pretty sure they're like whiteheads and shit by the time you woke up.
Oh, they were massive. I'm talking about like quarter-sized blisters, like on the knuckles, on like all the knuckles of my fingers and on my hand, on the back of my wrist.
And you didn't look down there and be like, yeah, I might have to go to the emergency room.
Well, at the time, my parents at the time had went to Tennessee to the mountains. They went like to Gatlinburg, I guess, Tennessee, and so they weren't there when I did it. And I didn't really want to get in trouble for doing what I had done. So I was like, yeah, it's not so bad. I'm just going to wrap it up. It'll be all good. But no.
I think getting in trouble is a little less than losing the hand.
Well, I'm all good now.
I mean, I'm just trying to follow your train of thought there. Well, my hand's fucked up, and, they might get infected, and I'm hoping the ice will cure the infection.
It really didn't seem that bad right away. It didn't blister up until the day after. So the first day it was black. By the way, I don't know if you know what like acetylene gas makes this black soot.
Mhm.
So the back of my hand was black, and like it was so painful. I couldn't exactly wash it. So it was pretty bad. Like
You ever seen SLC Punk?
no.
You should watch Salt Lake City Punk. That sounds like Heroin Bob's story right there.
Oh, I've seen that.
You know, but the
Is
guy
that-
was scared of needles.
Yeah, and he ends up dying. Yeah, from
Yeah.
the drug overdose. I've seen that.
It's got Matthew Lillard in it, the worst actor
Yeah, it
ever.
does. Oh, he's not that bad. Isn't that the guy from Scream?
That's the guy from Shaggy. He played Shaggy.
And Scream. He's the guy from Scream that goes, "I'm getting kind of woozy." After his buddy stabs him.
Yeah,
He's
but
not that
he's
bad.
such an actor. Come on.
He's doing the best he can, man.
That's an hour.
He's taking the movies he can.
All right.
All right, anybody got any thoughts of, anybody got any leafing comments? Junkyard?
Hey, well, I just want to thank you guys for inviting me in for this Thursday's podcast. I really appreciate it. I know that we've been talking about this for a while, and you told me that you guys were working on this project for a while, and obviously I've been listening to 1 and 2, and I'm looking forward to listening to 3 because, well, I'm here in it, so it's going to be a good one to listen to.
Yep.
And, hey, make sure you check out my YouTube page. I'm going to promote myself there, Junkyard129.
Yeah. And I feel like a girl at this point because my worst burn I ever got was like taking a pizza out of the oven and hitting my hand on the rack.
You didn't live. See, I lived like a wild child. Like when I would go into school like bandaged and wrapped up, and people would just be like, "What'd you do this time?" Like I'm talking about like broken bones and burns and cuts and
See,
the
I'm the
skin
same
taken
way,
off the
man.
right side of my face. Like
My mother got immune
See,
to the police showing up at my door.
nice.
Yeah,
See, there's a whole. The
Yeah,
next podcast is going to be about
that's
Woody's
all
back
no.
life.
What do you-
See,
well, we got. All right. I can't wait next Thursday.
Yeah,
I gotta hear about this wild story. I'm
a
like,
cop
how
would
did
show
it
up
so-
at the door, and she'd be like, "Is he paralyzed?" And they'd say, "No." "Is he dead?" And she'd say, "No." She'd be like, "All right, everything else I can handle." That was how tough
Oh.
my mom became to my childhood.
I mean,
Yeah.
where did the software architect come into this?
It happened later.
I'm starting to think it was a prison program.
You know, I have like a whole bunch of stories. I had like a list I was going to let you guys choose from, like high school grades, lifeguard, attempted suicide, how I met my wife, stuff like that. We'll have to cover these in later podcasts.
well, I'd like to join you guys, so hopefully I could join you guys again in a future one here.
All right, guys. Well, that's been Painkiller episode 3. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. I suggest not commenting on the actual podcast site because I got to moderate that, and I'm lazy as shit. Other than that, it's been
Hey, let
nice.
us know. Quickly, let us know who you guys want for the next podcast, who you want our next guest appearance to be.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, guys. We're out.
Later.
All right.
See ya.